Good morning. I'm sorry, today's my Dharma talk is me. Sorry for that. To begin my Dharma message, please join me in Gassho. Put your hands together. Wherever the Buddha travels, be it country, province, town, or village, there is no place which does not benefit from his virtue. Peace and harmony reign throughout the land. The sun and the moon shine brightly. The wind and rain are timely, and no disaster or disease ever occurs. The land is prosperous, and the people live in peace, so there is no need to use soldiers and weapons. People respect virtue, cultivate benevolence, and diligently observe propriety and humility. From the Raja Sutra. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda, Namo. Okay, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for coming to this Sunday service this morning. So, tomorrow is a national holiday, right? What is the day tomorrow? Memorial Day. So this is, last time I came to the United States, every year the Memorial Day is, as a minister, I go to the cemetery to officiate the service, then, attending the Memorial Day ceremony. So then I have to learn what is a Memorial Day is. It is a day, no school. Yes. I don't have to wake up early morning to take my son to the school. That's a good day. Then also, according to the web, this is the information from the website. It is say the beginning of summer. It is a time to start a barbecue. Is that true? This is American kind of tradition to start barbecuing from the Memorial Day. Yes? No? I just believe the information from the internet. Yesterday, I did the barbecue last night. So that was fun. So, of course, the Memorial Day is a day to honor the American military personnel who died while serving in the armed force. So it is a U.S. federal holiday to observe on the last Monday in May. So I express my deepest respect and sympathy to American military personnel who died while serving in the armed force. So tomorrow is actual Memorial Day is tomorrow. Then I'm going to participate in the Memorial Day ceremony hosted by Nisei Veterans Committee and NVC Foundation. So then Koyasan Buddhist Temple, as a Buddhist ministers, not just me, from the Koyasan Buddhist Temple, used to be the ministers from Seattle Nichiren Buddhist Temple. Also, we go together, then we chant Juseige together. So then, representatives from Seattle Betsin, usually the temple president this year, Tyler, is participating. Then Seattle Koyasan Buddhist Temple, then Seattle Nichiren Buddhist Temple, they get together to offer flower at the stone monument at the Lakeview Cemetery. So I think anyone can come. So if you have time, so I think the ceremony starts at 10 at the Lakeview Cemetery. Usually I think 150, 200 people come. So this is after I came to Seattle, this is the Memorial Day for me. Every year I go to the Lakeview Cemetery, then participating Memorial Day ceremony. Then not only us, then our Park 252 scouts, they also participate the ceremony and do the presentation of colors and the retiring of the colors. So as a Seattle Betsin, we are participating this ceremony. So do you know the history or origin of the Memorial Day? Well, I think I grew up in Japan, so I have to learn those, American history, American tradition. So I just, researched a little bit. So about 165 years ago, the American Civil War broke out in 1861, then ended in 1865. Well, if I give you the wrong information, please correct me. I'm still learning American history. So then many people died from this war. So about 700,000, 900,000 people, including both soldiers and citizens, died from this American Civil War. Then after the war, people started offering flowers at the soldiers' grave. Then in just a few years later, 3 years later, in 1868, the person's name, John A. Logan, who was a Union Army Major General, called for the National Decoration Day. It was called Decoration Day first, to honor fallen soldiers from the American Civil War. So it was set in May. The reason was because it is the time of the season, lots of flowers are blooming. So people can offer flowers to the gravesite, soldiers' gravesite. In the 20th century, it also became a day to honor soldiers who sacrificed their lives for World War I, World War II, and others. In 1971, this day was set as Memorial Day last Monday in May. Because, it is the day to offer flowers to the soldiers' gravesite, so I just, the White River Buddhist Temple, I think this is one of their annual fundraiser, the flower fundraiser. I don't know, maybe some of you bought a flower from White River Buddhist Temple, I think. So, as I mentioned, the Civil War was ended in 1865. So during the war, of course, because it was a war, lots of weapons were produced and used, right? Then war ended, 1865. Where did these weapons go? Do you know? Just a few years after the American Civil War, another civil war was broke out in Japan. A lot of weapons were sold, exported to Japan for the Civil War. And the new Japanese government was established after the Civil War in Japan. It is called Meiji Restoration. That was in 1868, only 3 years after the American Civil War. One of the Japanese new government's policy was to open the country. Before that, Japan was closed country. But after that, the new government decided to open the country to Europe, US, and other countries. So then Japanese people started immigrating into other countries, going to Hawaii and United States. Of course, some people immigrated in Seattle too. So then this temple was built, 1901, 125 years ago. So when I think about, I stop here, think about the history, lots of things are really connected. So then everything has, Buddhist point of view, causes and conditions. So when I was researching this Memorial Day, I didn't think Memorial Day, origin of Memorial Day was able to connect to the establishment of Seattle Betsuin Buddhist Temple, but somehow, everything is interconnected. So I like to learn history. I love history. So, of course, during the war, during the Civil War, those American Civil War, the soldiers took the weapons and fought. I think it is for freedom. It is for peace. I think those people, the Japanese, those samurais and soldiers during the Civil War, they took weapons to achieve the peace and freedom. There are so many, even today, there's people are thinking how we can achieve, this is the goal, freedom, peace. Some people do the protest, demonstration. People do different things. I am a Buddhist minister. As a Buddhist minister, there's a way as a Buddhist minister to do. What is the ultimate freedom and peace? When I thought last night, it should be enlightenment, nirvana, satori. Nirvana is the peace and tranquil. After, wherever we are walking the path to the ultimate goal, nirvana, satori, there is the ultimate peace, ultimate freedom. So people listen to the Dharma, then we can find a way how we can achieve the goal, this goal. At the beginning of my Dharma message today, I introduced one passage from the Raja Sutra. So Raja Sutra is the same sutra which include Juseige and Sambutsuge, which we normally chant. So in the same sutra, this passage was written. Let me introduce this again. Wherever the Buddha travels, be it country, province, town, or village, there is no place which does not benefit from his virtue. Peace and harmony reign throughout the land. The sun and the moon shine brightly. The wind and rain are timely. And no disaster or disease ever occurs. The land is prosperous, and the people live in peace. So there is no need to use soldiers and weapons. People respect virtue, cultivate benevolence, and diligently observe propriety and humility. So this is a passage from the Raja Sutra. I always have this passage in my mind. A world where no one has to fight. A world where no one has to lose their family and friends because of war. A world where homes and nature do not have to be destroyed by war. While we are walking the path to the nirvana, this Buddhist path, so I think this is the direction to achieve peace and tranquil. As a Buddhist, we are listening that guidance every Sunday, every day. It is not easy, of course, because we are the lay member Bonbu. It might be not easy to keep walking this path, but still, we can continue. We walk this path. It might be not able to achieve right away, but we shouldn't lose the direction where we are walking. We walk toward the Amida Buddha's pure enlightenment, Satori. Also, as a Buddhist, we spread this teaching. We share this teaching, our family and friends. I hope more people, even one more person, to appreciate and enjoy this teaching. That's why we are always, sharing the Buddha Dharma every day, every time, every Sunday. So thank you again for attending this service. To conclude my Dharma message, please join me in Gassho, put your hands together. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu.